number 3. I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Highland Lakes with Daniel Clifton, who is covering Canyon Lake football for us. We have already covered Burnett and Canyon Lake in segment 1. In segment 2, we talked about Marble Falls and Taylor. In this segment, we're going to do a District 13 4A Division 1, talk about the standings, and then get into a little bit of this week's ball games. I will say this, and I didn't know this until recently because I hadn't been paying attention. You know that the number 1 team in the state is Bernie High? Did you know that, Daniel?
Who? Bernie?
Bernie High. Remember, the Greyhounds played for the state championship last year in 4A D1 and lost to China Spring. Bernie
What?
High is ranked number 1 in the state. And the reason that's kind of important is because District 13 is matched up with District 14 in the bi-district round. So in other words, you do not want to finish 4th in this district, in District 13, because you're going to end up playing Bernie for a bi-district championship, the number 1 team in 4A D1 in the state. So, and the reason I say that is because with Davenport beating Lampasas last week, Davenport is 3-0 in the district. Lampasas is 2-1. Barnett is 2-1. Taylor is 1-2. Canyon Lake is 1-2, and Marble Falls is 0-3. Marble Falls, because they play Lampasas and Davenport, there's no opportunity for them to ruin anybody's season. Okay? So, in that sense now, since Davenport won the head-to-head, even if the only way that Lampasas can win the district championship now is if Davenport loses their last 2 games of the season. Their week 11 opponent is Marble Falls. So that's why you play the game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week, Burnett is playing Davenport, and they are at Davenport. That's a road game for them. We'll see what happens there. Marble Falls goes to Lampasas. Lampasas lost last week. This is why I think it's a bad time to catch the Badgers. I think you and I both know that the only thing that really re-motivates a team and gets everybody's attention is a loss. I honestly believe that. When you lose, you're more focused, you're coachable, you listen more. I just think it's a bad time to catch Lampasas, and Marble Falls is next on that schedule. What I find interesting and where I think the game of the week is in the district is Canyon Lake visits Taylor, and here's why. Both Taylor and Canyon Lake are 1-2 in the district. Coach Flowers told me that in his mind, that is the playoff game. Meaning, if the winner of that game has the inside track then to fit it to getting a playoff berth. With Canyon Lake losing to Burnett, Canyon Lake is desperate to get a win at Taylor because then you get the crucial head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
Right? So if both teams have the same record, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. If Taylor beats Canyon Lake, Burnett to the playoffs. But Burnett hosts Taylor in week 11, and they'll be playing for 3rd place in week 11. Okay? If Canyon Lake beats Taylor, I want to say, is that right? Because I'd have to go back and read my notes. Because the way that I took it was they were in regardless. And Coach Wood led me to believe that's not necessarily the case. But I can't figure out how that wouldn't be. Because if Taylor beats Canyon Lake, I don't see where Canyon Lake can catch Burnett. You know what
Yeah, especially if
because of the number of losses in the district.
and then Canyon Lake will have lost the head-to-head to Burnett.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Burnett has that as at Davenport, and they host Taylor that last game.
Right. So I think Burnett will go 2-2 after this week. And then if Taylor beats Canyon Lake, then Taylor will go 2-2. And Canyon Lake will drop to 1-3. And I don't see where Canyon Lake mathematically can catch Burnett because Burnett
Yeah,
has the crucial head to head.
yeah.
You
And
know what I'm
then like
saying?
ends with Lampasas, and so yeah,
So
it's almost like
yeah,
it can it had for Taylor and Canyon, like the winner of that game hasn't locked up the fourth place spot, but they've really got a good strong hold on it.
yeah.
So if Canyon Lakes is to beat Taylor and Taylor loses that last game, yeah, I don't see how Burnett gets knocked out with Canyon Lake winning against Taylor and not.
And Taylor drops to 1-3. Yeah, because Canyon Lake would then go to 2-2, and Burnett is already at
Want to go
two
2-2 maybe
wins.
this Friday?
Let me just double check that because
It should
Burnett's
be
already at
now.
two. Yeah, because Burnett would go 2-2 because I don't I think Davenport's going to run the table. I think they will go undefeated in the district. So yeah, but if Canyon Lake beats Taylor, Taylor goes to 1-3. Canyon Lake's 2-2, and then Taylor would have to come to Burnett and beat Burnett to move to 2-3. That would make Burnett go 2-3. And then if Canyon Lake goes 2-3, because they'll if Canyon Lake loses to Lampasas in week 11, then you've got three teams at 2-3 with two playoff spots left, and you've got the worst case scenario because
Oh yeah,
everybody's beating everybody here. Now you go to statistics, and maybe that's what Coach Wood
for sure.
meant
Yeah.
when he said, in theory, yes, in reality, maybe not. So there's a lot riding on these last two games for both teams. And I guarantee you, these coaches, promise you, they have all stood at their whiteboards on Sunday and have drawn out every single scenario you and I are talking about right here and trying to figure out who does what. The one thing that I need to check on, because I don't know who the district chair is, I need to find out what the maximum points allowed per win is. So even though, and I'll give you a good example of that, even though Burnett beat Marble Falls by 24 points, each win may be capped at 17 points.
Yeah.
So no matter what, Burnett is at a plus 17. But I need to check on that because, and right now, what was the score of the Burnett Canyon Lake game? I have
40,
it here.
45-20.
45-20. So that is a plus 25, but I have a feeling they've capped it
Yeah.
because districts normally cap each the margin. You can't, and they do that to protect the integrity. That's I want to make sure that fans know that. The reason that you see caps on wins is to protect the integrity of the sport because you don't want to beat up a team so badly, yeah, and run up the score by 90 points. Um, if you can help that, look, we talk about sportsmanship all the time. And I tell people there is a huge difference between beating a team and embarrassing and humiliating a team. And when you embarrass and humiliate, especially young players, it makes them not want to play anymore. And there's not a coach I've ever worked with in my 30 years of doing this who ever wants to take the love of a sport away from a kid. None
Yeah.
of them want to do that. They are it's one thing to beat a team. It's quite another to embarrass and humiliate. And nobody wants to do that. There's not a coach I've ever worked with who has ever wanted to do that. So, but that's why there are caps, and it protects the integrity of the sport and of the game and of the districts and each of the teams. So, I will check on that. I got to figure out who the district chair is. I may just text Coach. I'll probably text Coach Jones because he is the only athletic director who does nothing but sports administration, and he should be able to give me that
Yeah.
information. So, at any rate, but that's the scenario and the way that I understand it. And then, of course, the fourth place team, their reward for making the playoffs is going to be to play
Bernie.
Bernie High in the first round. Yes. Yes.
Woo, Bernie.
That's what will be interesting. Okay. Daniel, is there anything else you want to say or mention? Anything about last week, this week? Let's see. Canyon Lake is one more time. Oh,
Pat Taylor.
Canyon Lake is at Taylor. That's right. That's right. Yeah. We will see what happens then. We will find out plenty about the Hawks and see how they match up against the Ducks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, not that I have right now.
Yeah. How did Canyon Lake do in cross country?
They got three. They got three to regionals, and all three of them advanced. So Cadence Patterson is senior. She got second at the regional meet behind Taylor. I think Taylor Grona again. That Fredericksburg girl is a machine. And then
Yeah.
Eva's
Grona,
ever
Taylor Grona.
yeah, because there's two Gronas. There's Fredericksburg has like two. There's two Gronas there, I
Oh, I'm
believe.
familiar.
Yeah,
Those are Carrie's kids. I
yeah,
know
yeah.
exactly who they are.
And then so they got so we got three going. So Cadence Patterson's going. She got second at the regionals behind. I'm gonna see. I think I'm pretty sure it was Taylor who got first, but they were right
Yeah.
there. And then yeah, Taylor Grona and Cadence. And then we also have on our girls' side, we'll have Eva Zaversenko, who's a freshman, something to build on there. And she had finished 10th at regionals. And then on the boys' side, Tristan Schenk got 12th overall, but because of the way they do the regionals to the state, so if two the other teams, a couple teams qualified, so he got bumped up. So he's in the top. So he'll go. So we got three people going.
Yeah. Marble Falls got two, Nick Dahl and Tyler Hamblin. They ended up qualifying for state as individuals. Victor Aviles and Isaiah Zorte are going for the Bulldogs, and then the Lady Dogs qualified as a team.
That's
So I was
good.
happy. I was happy to see that. Barnett ended up getting the Lady Dogs finished second in District 24 4A. I think they're going to play Waco Robinson for a bi-district championship. I think that starts next week. So we'll keep you posted on that. Marble Falls finished their season, did write a game story in a perspective, a comprehensive report, at least for me for volleyball. That also is on TexasChalkTalk.com. Okay,
Then
Daniel, I'm gonna let you run. I know that you've got other things to do. As always, I appreciate you making the time in your busy week to talk a little football with me.
all
We'll do
right.
this again. All
See you
right,
next
sir.
week.
Yes, sir. For Daniel Clifton, I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Highland Lakes. Enjoy the games, everybody.